Don't you know it feels so right? You know it feels so good. Oh, hey. From the first day we met, it just felt so easy. And I just can't forget the first time you laid your eyes upon me. 'Cause
Welcome to the show, it's Bailey, Intabeats on Kool FM. This week, another special edition, this time coming from Japan. We're actually in Tokyo right now. We're going to get a little insight into how things run out here in Japan in terms of drum and bass and music generally, because I've been to a lot of record stores out here now, and man, I didn't know Japanese people cared so much about music. The stores we've been to out here, it's just everywhere, it's crazy. Later on in the mix, we're going to be hearing from a Japanese promoter who we actually did a night with, a collaboration between Strict City and Intabeats. The guy running things there is Zeusen, so we're going to speak to him later on. Also, Zara's in the building as well, as he played out both Intabeats nights in Japan as well. We did another one called Bass in Alps, alongside Intabeats in Hakuba. So lots to look forward to. We've got loads of brand new tunes as well, so you know how it is. We're beat exploring right now, all the way from Japan. It's Intabeats with Bailey.
Set it straight.
'Cause the music goes forever on and on and on. Yeah, but it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the music goes forever on and on and on. Yeah, and it's gonna be alright. Alright, alright. 'Cause the music plays forever on and on and on. Yeah, alright, alright. Generations will come and go, but there's one thing for sure. Music is our last foundation, and shall succeed all nations to come. Yeah, and it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the music goes forever on and on and on. Yeah, and it's gonna be alright. The year 3000 is soon come past. Whoa, but the music shall last. I can hear it all the time, this waiting, never dissipating and giving me strength. The music plays forever on and on and on. Yeah.
If you just locked in, it's Intabeats with Bailey. Coming at you from Tokyo, Japan. It's a special. You know how we like to do. If we're overseas, we like to record a show and speak to the local people involved in the drum and bass scene to get a real taste of what's going on around the world. Now, right now, I happen to be in the middle of a tour. I was in Korea for 2 things. I did Hong Kong and, of course, 2 events in Japan with Intabeats collaborating. So like I mentioned earlier, later on, one of the promoters out here in Tokyo goes by the name of Zusan. We're going to be hearing from him later on and hopefully dropping a 30-minute mix as well. Yeah, good man. So this one in the background, Sterling Void, Alright, bootleg of that. Before that was Diffuser with Addicted. Before that was something by me called Dead Man. Before that was Filth and Battery featuring Deism called Sunshine. I think that's for Dispatch Limited. And I started tonight with something from the Electronic Soul EP, which just came out on my own label, Intabeats. The track was called So Natural featuring Rosalie. Big shout to Rosalie who came down to sing that live at the Notting Hill Arts Club for our resident monthly on the first Sundays of every month. I'm going to play another one from the EP. Actually, I'm going to just play 2 or 3 from the EP. Maybe the 2 or 3 that's left on it, because there's just 4 tracks. This is definitely one of my favorites. Real deep emotional strings and chords on this. This is called Endless Day, and of course it's by me for Intabeats Music. In about 10 minutes or so, you're going to be hearing from Zusan as well. Don't go anywhere. It's Kool with a K.
No more sorrow. No more night. No more darkness. Endless day.
You're locked in to Kool with a K.
Right, so that one's Electronic Soul, the title track from the Electronic Soul EP, the debut release for the Intabeats music label by me. Later on, you're going to be hearing from Zaz in the studio, one of the Intabeats family in the mix as well, who's been to Japan already. So I want to hear what his views are about it. You have been there before, haven't you? Yeah, he's been there before for Strict City. And Intabeats have collaborated with Strict City. The head man there is Zusan, who's with us right now. He's going to drop a mix for us in a little bit, but first I want to have a little chat to him. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for inviting. Thanks.
You're welcome, man. How long have you been involved in the promotion game? How long have you been doing events?
It's been a year. Like first time is FD, and second time is 40T, and third time is Berries and the collaborated with Intabeats.
And how did you know which side of the music you wanted to represent when you put events on?
I don't know. I want to like represent for like kind of this music to Tokyo.
And how did you get introduced to drum and bass in the first place?
I used to stay in Australia for just a year, so when I go to club in there, and then I found drum and bass.
Oh, that's interesting, because we went to Hackabur as well, and you played on that as well for the collaboration between us and Bass in Alps, and there were a lot of Australians there. So is Australia not that far away? Is it quite close to here?
It's a bit far away from here, like it's maybe take 10 hours by airplane.
Okay, so it's the Australians that brought it to you. See, this is what I love. The whole thing's international, you know what I mean? Drum and bass is everywhere. Now, having got into drum and bass, who were some of the artists or maybe DJs that you really enjoyed listening to?
Yeah, of course Barry, and maybe, of course Caliber, like Breakage, that's some tune.
Okay, and so when you play your sets, is it a mixture of styles, or because you promote and you DJ? Is there anything else you're going to be doing, like maybe a record label or anything like that?
Yeah, I do record label like called Soul Night Recordings, and I cut it upgrade like 3 years ago, I think.
So is that going? Is that still going? Okay, well I think I knew this. So you're doing a bit of everything. So you really are super proactive with this thing now. So when it comes to the rest of Japan, is there much else going on? Other than what's happening in Tokyo, is there much other drum and bass events around? And where are they?
It's just in Shibuya, like be pretty small scene, but it's strong community, so that's good, I think.
And I wasn't expecting to go to Hakuba, which is like just a skiing town, just like in the middle of, I don't know, it's just near the mountains. Where? Oh, okay. It felt like it was in the middle of nowhere, but that was. What a night. What a night. What a great night. Alright, I guess we should get you to do a mix right now. You know what I mean? Tell us about some of the stuff that you have potentially to play for us.
For like, mainly is liquid funk, something like by North Quarter stuff. Yeah.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the mix for the next half an hour, we've got Zusan from Strict City. This is Bailey with Intabeats, coming all the way from Tokyo, Japan. Let's do this.
Let your own spirit be your guide. Step forward.
got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. Reach to the sky, you go by. We got your jungleist. Who's dancing on the beat, the beat, the beat? We got your jungleist. Causing a road reaction. We got your jungleist. Like this, like this, like that. We got your jungleist. Reach to the sky, you go by. We got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. We got your jungleist. Reach to the sky, you go by.
Okay. You just heard Zusen in the mix representing Tokyo and Strict City. We had a blast the other night. Intabeats collaborated with Strict City. Some proper, like, real people who knew their beats were in there. There's like a, and what I like is the promoters, they support each other as well. You know what I mean? There's no weird business. They go to each other's nights and support the scene. Is there any room over here for, because I played in Korea, it was quite commercial. Is there any of that here?
I think so too, like Circus Tokyo as well. Okay, yeah.
So you went really for the liquid thing. Is that your main flavor, or do you like darker beats?
That's my part of the flavor, like, but otherwise, like, Atmos, like, intelligent drum bass, like 90s, and maybe some deep tunes.
Okay, so what's in the future for Strict City? What's happening?
To be honest, I have no idea, but yeah, we'll see happen. Like, yeah, but I wanna like strict this the kind of this beats for the future. Yes, for sure, that's for sure.
Wait, and, are you producing as well? Is that right? Are you making music?
I sometimes make music, but not much.
But still, someone is like putting on events, DJing, producing a little bit, and doing a record label. That's pretty massive. That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I have to hard work. So, yeah, I do need more.
Well, it's paid off, and we had an amazing time. You know what I mean? Zara was with us on the lineup as well. We're going to be hearing from him in a little bit, but I just want to say thank you so much for bringing us over and letting us collaborate with you, and thank you, for playing a set for us now on Kool FM. You know what I mean? Anything you want to say before we go?
Thank you for bringing you, like, Barry and Zara and interviews. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope we can do it another time. You know what I mean? It was a good party. I didn't mean to. I got really drunk. I'm drinking straight vodka. I do that now to try not to run to the toilet during the set, and I'm still working that out, as you can probably tell from the condition I was in. But anyway, it was a good night. Right, I'm going to play one more tune, or just one tune, and then we're going to speak to Zara. He'll be up in the mix as well. Keep it here, Intabeats with Bailey. We do this second Tuesdays of each month from 7 in the evening till 9 in the UK.
Kool with a K. Kool with a K. You're locked in to Kool with a K. You're locked in to Kool with a K.
You're locked into Kool FM. It's Intabeats with Bailey, and we are in Tokyo, Japan. I'm mid-tour. We've done 2 Intabeats collaborations in Japan, and 2 of those nights, one DJ from the Intabeats family was there representing, just rolling out some nice flavours. His name is Zar, if you don't know. He's linked with other crews. He's linked to the Manchester lot as well, right? What Space Cadet? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Zar to the studio.
Hello. Arigato.
So is this your second time in Japan? Yeah?
Yeah, it's my second time. I came first time last year in April, and we did so shout out Human Elements, who's the crew out here, as well as Strict City, but it's Makoto and Velocity's night and label from Tokyo. And yeah, I came over, and Stefano from Sun and Bass was also here, so we did a Sun and Bass and Human Elements collab event. And yeah, we did a Sunday daytime, and that Zusan actually played at that event, so that's how we met for the first time. And yeah, we went record digging and stuff, but yeah, been there before, love it.
And how are you finding, what are you noticing about, if there's any differences between the way the UK and Japanese absorb or are involved in drum and bass? You know what I mean? What would you think some of the differences are? Are there any?
I don't think there's like much difference, but I think the love and the passion, I feel it more like here. Like there's community everywhere, like in London, as you know, and stuff. But here, like it feels like very close, and like everyone supports each other. It actually reminds me a lot of the Manchester scene. But yeah, no, I feel like the community's strong, and like, as you know from playing on the weekend, like they love the music so much, like.
Yeah, 100%. And like, well, you mentioned Manchester, so did I a bit earlier. Tell us about your affiliation with the Manchester crew.
Yeah, so I lived in Manchester for 8 years. I went up there for university, studied music, and then I stayed. And yeah, I was just DJing, and I met Del DRS and yeah, people like Fox and Eva B and stuff, and I'm lucky to now like work with them a lot and have a studio up there, so I work quite a lot in person as well, so I make a lot of music basically, and yeah, DJ'd up there a long time and stuff.
Yeah, you have been making a lot of music and been doing a lot of DJing, and I see you at Sun and Bass, and I guess we can talk about the future for you in a little while, but right now you are going to get in the mix for us for half an hour. What kind of stuff have you got in there? Any favourites, or what style are you going for?
So I'll just play a lot of my own new stuff, and then just some beats that I'm feeling at the moment. People like Alex Perez and Lensman and stuff, and yeah.
Perfect, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zar in the mix, Intabeats. This is how we do.
Likes and numbers are not enough. So when you feel like giving up, just keep your head up high. And when you feel enough's enough, just keep shit moving on. Don't go giving up. Remember what you're living for, and don't give up on love, 'cause likes and numbers are not enough. So when you feel like giving up, just keep your head up high. And when you feel enough's enough, just keep shit moving on.
Never let the wrong emotions stay, you can never let it lay. All these dreams are ours if we just dare to run towards the very thing that hurts you. Maybe everything we ever nurtured was poison. We just fell victim to its virtual virtue. That's how these things we never knew about hurt you. I'm home already but I never did curfew. But I care for you, care if you don't, care if you do. Care if you stay, care if you move. I never gave up, I just lost the groove. While a million issues I forgot to prove, but when you're baking bread you got to prove. I break it down, I got a lot to lose. I'm the Trek, I paint this all to lose. Watching the world from a smaller view. It's not a gang, they just listen when there's more of you.
Don't go giving up, remember what you're living for. And don't give up on love, cause likes and numbers are not enough. So when you feel like giving up, just keep your head up high. And when you feel enough's enough, just keep shit moving on. Don't go giving up, remember what you're living for. And don't give up on love, cause likes and numbers are not enough. So when you feel like giving up, just keep your head up high. And when you feel enough's enough, just keep shit moving on.
Yeah. Life is a maze. Place my hand up on the mic, I get praise. Got a lot of stuff to shave, fam, I'm trying to escape. Say the things are getting worse, nobody's trying to debate. Drifting apart, no man's island is safe. Spliffing the park, my time, silence is great. Little break till the next finger's piled on my plate. So polite, just trying to be rage. Talking shy, trying to behave. Might wind up with your mind in the grave. There's many ways of laying rounds on the page. Many players saying lies on the stage. Trying to fly in the cage. You know the vibe, spending nights in the days. Next day is a myth. Things there but ain't embracing the gift. Straight story to your face with a twist. Get your story straight, read the headlines. What kind of story is this? Rather hit you with the glorious myth than a painful truth. And that's the game where we remain seduced.
When my world was gone down, pick me up and dust me off. I was on the ground, yeah.
Yeah. Control in a place I used to walk a lot. I ain't stepped through in a minute. Yeah, I had to bless you with a visit. How you been, old friend? What's good? Tell me how is it? Coffee shops, bougie boutiques, some private clinics. Yo, I know the scene, I've seen it before. I've been a witness, so we someone there just pillaging shit. It's been a sickness. Speak these words, I dream in pictures. Live from the discount hour, dreams of riches. But true say things change quick, I seen the switches. Unique can fade out in a flash, the scene is vicious. Many trees bearing the fruit, the scene's delicious. The rotten core Russian roulette for the ambitious. Reaching for something you ain't never really cared about. Say you ain't afraid to give you something to be scared about. It's hard to see clear, you know you see is fear. Pay no mind to them whispers in your ear. Yeah. On occasion, rolling something holy, getting folded in the blazement. Last another journey, something told me to be patient. Last another journey, something told me to be patient. On occasion, rolling something holy, getting folded in the blazement. Last another journey, something told me to be patient. Last another journey, something told me to be patient. Just be patient.
with a K.
Sweet your milk, 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 milk. Chinese silk, prove to me all I wanted. Sent to sweet your milk, 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 milk. On your world, please the blend. With our bodies red, we mix so well. Now all I know is I'm safe in your caress.
you're just locked in, it's Intabeats on Kool FM. We just had Czar in the mix. We're out here in Tokyo, Japan. He's been out here rolling out these kind of flavors, and what a gorgeous mix, mate. What a gorgeous and beautifully soulful mix. How much of that stuff was yours, what you produced?
Yeah, nice one, first of all. And yeah, I think every other tune I played was mine.
And are most of those signed up? You must have releases in the pipeline. What's going on?
Yeah, so I have a project coming out with DRS. So I started the mix with one of them. And then this last one playing now is actually a bootleg that I've done. I don't actually do many bootlegs, but this is one. yeah. And yeah, I'm working on stuff for like Footnotes and like Gemini and yourself as well. So
we reveal that information in the future. Right now. And I know you've got tours, you've got plans for more travels, but prior to coming to Tokyo, where were you going? What were you playing at? What were you doing?
So yeah, I've been lucky enough to actually DJ quite a lot this last year, but the last place I was at, I was in Bristol, and then we did Intabeats for your EP launch, but before that we were actually in Germany together at Open Ground on New Year's. Yeah, that was a sick night. Yeah, and yeah, it's been really cool going out, playing out with my mates and then with other good people in the lineup, so I feel very lucky, to be honest.
And I just want to say thank you to Zeus again for being in the mix as well. That night was incredible. Hackable was incredible. Look out for Strict City on your Instagram. Look out for you're looking for Scarecrow, really. There is no real bass in the Alps. And look out for Intabeats as well. Right, we're gonna have to wrap this thing up, man. Let's play a few tunes. I'm gonna play it soulful, but on the Amen tip right now. And if you missed any of those mixes that these guys did for us, make sure when I rerun the show, or when Kool FM put it on their website, that you check out Bailey Intabeats on Kool FM, yeah? Also, I'm going to put it on my socials, and I'm sure these guys will as well. Anything to say, Czar, before you leave?
Thank you so much for having us, Susan. It's great to be in Tokyo with you, Bailey. And sayonara for now.
Hey, well, you got the Japanese in there. I'm not even going to bother trying that.
go or should I hold you? I don't know if I really love you. Definitely something about you. Baby, now I found you. Should I let go or should I hold you? Show you. I don't know if I really know you.
Unreleased 2014 VIP of Golden Girl, of course featuring the great vocals of MC Conrad, legendary. Probably going to play one or two more if I get out there. I want to say thank you again for listening. Thank you very much Zusan for playing a set for us tonight. Thank you very much Zar. We'll be running that mix again when it hits the Kool FM website. Let me run that back quickly. And don't forget there's going to be more overseas specials. Hopefully going to get another one from Australia, and then it's back to business. And yeah, there's changes to this program of course, because we are now going to be just once a month, second Tuesdays of every month instead of fortnightly. So yeah, make sure you don't miss. Before we go, I think Susan, can you come for me, please? For the people that are listening in Japan, can you say a couple of things in Japanese for me? So say thank you for listening to the show.
ショーを見てくれてありがとうございます。
Don't forget to listen again online.
オンラインでクール FM チェックしてください。
And especially me, Zuzan, because I'm a bad boy DJ.
ズーさんとベイリーは悪い DJ です。
I just love the sound of Japanese, to be honest. Right, everyone. Thank you so much for checking us out. We will be back again, like I said, and I will leave you with this lovely piece of music.